we are going to talk about a hate crime. I mean, it's worse somehow than taking down Christopher Columbus Day. Italians have suffered a lot in this country. First, they were treated as non-white, and then they were treated as white even though they were not white. And an anti-Italian hate crime occurred. And I am sick and tired of it, and I will speak out against it. Okay, but like this is actually concerning. Yeah, I mean, there is a serious part of this that I will cover as well. But the unserious side of this coverage is going to be about Italian hate crimes. Okay, let's take a look.
And violent assault. Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, brutalized in their San Francisco home. Police say this attack happened overnight after a man broke in. The speaker was here in Washington. Her 82-year-old husband is now in the hospital, expected, the speaker's office says, to make a full recovery. A police briefing is scheduled for later this hour. We will go there live when it happens. At this moment, we're still trying to fill in the big question. What was the motive here? The male suspect is in custody. The FBI still at the Pelosi home in San Francisco. Sources telling CNN that assailant used a hammer to beat Mr. Pelosi. CNN's Jamie Gangel has been talking to sources and joins us now with some important breaking news. Jamie, what can you tell us?
John, it appears we may actually have the motive, or at least part of the motive. I've just been told by a source who was briefed on the attack that the assailant who attacked Paul Pelosi was actually in search for the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. That before the assault occurred, in other words, before he attacked Pelosi, the intruder confronted the Speaker's husband in their home and was shouting, quote, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" So, John, again, this is from a source.
I can't wait for the Republicans that like very openly agitate for violence against people like Nancy Pelosi to turn around and literally be like, this is somehow still the Democrats' fault. I know for a fact that they're going to be like, wow, Nancy Pelosi was attacked. Must be her fault.
Source who was briefed on the attack, who says before he physically assaulted.
Mike from PA made a good point. If it wasn't California, the dude would have probably used a gun, not a hammer. Gun control works. Oh, 100%. When it's harder to find a gun, the psychotic assassination attempt of the husband of a political person all of a sudden becomes a attempt to murder them with a hammer, where the apprehension is a little bit easier than with a gun.
The Speaker's husband, he was clearly looking for Pelosi herself. Quote, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" John.
Paul Pelosi's attack is a wake-up call for Democrats by Leo Terrell. Okay, are you ready? Here's what they're going to say. They're going to say, this is your fault for defunding the police. If they had funded the police, they would have been able to defend Nancy Pelosi's husband. This is your fault for not having a gun. If you had a gun, you would be able to kill the home intruder, not realizing that the home intruder himself would have probably had a gun if having guns were easier to acquire. They're going to probably cast doubt on the guy and make it seem like he's a leftist or whatever, especially considering that like the guy is just like any other fucking psychotic QAnon groiped up shouty who like loves Russia, but also simultaneously like a Jimmy Dore fan, but a Tulsi stan. They will make it seem as though that person is not motivated by like the psychotic things that he has seen or has started his ideological journey by like getting geared towards leftist ideals and like having an antagonistic relationship with leftist ideals as a consequence of right-wing media and right-wing psychotic conspiracy theories that Fox News and everyone else has normalized. They're going to say, oh, he's actually a leftist too, by the way. They're going to turn this around and make it seem like it's Nancy Pelosi's fault that Nancy Pelosi's being under fucking fire. And most likely they'll talk about the Supreme Court justice protests and why it was so damaging and not a single fucking Democrat came out against that. And some will say it is a false flag attack and shit like that. You already know it. You already know it. You already know it. You already know that's what's going to happen. Yes, I pre-watched it. Yes, I pre-memorized all the fucking talking points. Yes, I am secretly writing agitated propaganda for the Republican side. Yes, I could make millions and millions of dollars if I was a fucking conservative commentator, because I know conservative talking points better than conservatives do. But instead, I'm a grifter on the wrong side of the fucking political spectrum for some fucking weird reason, because I'm too stupid. Okay, let's continue with the coverage now from CNN before we move on to what the fuck these psychos are saying. We're also going to certainly look at the fucking psychos watchers as well.
Jamie is beginning to help answer.
It's wild to me that the one time someone manifests enough rage to fucking do like a political calculated move, it's always like January 6th or fucking hammering Paul Pelosi in the fucking head, and not like people who are infinitely and significantly worse. Obviously, I disavow any kind of violence. I'm just saying that like this is at the heart of all the school shootings and all the fucking mass shootings. Like, you have a lot of these like psychopathic people who are hopped up. They're just going absolute fucking bananas. They're like, they need an outlet. They need an outlet. And then who do they kill? They don't do the Shinzo Abe move. They go and kill their fucking, they go and kill what they consider to be the representative, the power holder in their fucking lives, their teachers or a girl in their fucking classrooms, or their shitty coworkers or whatever, or their fucking family members, like their mom. It's so frustrating. They're like upset at the systems, but then instead of like, doing something productive with that anger, and I don't mean like literally go and kill a fucking political person. Obviously, I would never say that. They turn around and fucking unload into people in their immediate vicinity.
Why the FBI would be involved, and this perhaps might explain it. If the assailant was trying to carry out this attack in search of the speaker, if there was some kind of political motivation, perhaps those would be the reasons why the FBI would be playing a big role in this investigation. Again, we're expecting to hear a lot more from the police at this briefing in later this hour. But it does begin to sort of help answer the questions. They know who carried out this attack. They're doing their investigation, and they're getting a sense of what brought this person to the home. It is a male person who was arrested there or detained by the police. Again, there's still a lot of questions as to how he got into the house. It appears that he came in through the back of the residence and then carried out this attack. There are a lot of very important questions still as to what brought him to that location, John.
So, let's get to it. I already told you. I already pre-watched. Here it is. There you go. They're already fucking blaming Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party for the fucking attack against her and her husband.
With this man who say that he was really disturbing, a megalomaniac, and so out of touch with reality. So we have this is probably the bigger problem that we have on our hands right now, Congressman.
Oh, 100%. I was a federal prosecutor, and like when you let dangerous criminals out on the streets, with bail and not put them in prison, you're just asking for this sort of incident to happen.
Is that what happened with this guy?
And
That's
I think
amazing.
It created the environment where this happens. In each of these cases, I always see a pattern of conduct. There are always warning signs and flags that are raised along the way, but never acted upon. And we see.
Yeah, he's right. The FBI should start literally door knocking on motherfuckers who have insane posts like this. Except if the FBI did do that, which they don't currently, you would lose your fucking mind, because shockingly, a lot of those people that would go to jail immediately for their posting would be right-wingers. Because Republicans literally always fucking say, oh man, these guys, like the FBI knows about them, but they're not doing anything about it. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? What do you mean? You're mad that like people went to jail for like breaking into the fucking Capitol buildings. You're saying the FBI is waging war on white people when like half of those people were also like aligned with the FBI regardless. That's crazy to me that like this guy has the audacity to say, yeah, we got to arrest these dangerous criminals and shit. It's like, bro, yeah. But when they do that, you lose your fucking mind.
See it probably with this guy that took the hammer to the speaker's husband, to a lot of the school shootings that I see.
Yeah, again, the consistent thing here is that every person that you mentioned is a right-winger. What the fuck?
As a counterterrorism federal prosecutor, we call it connecting the dots, right? As information sharing, intelligence, so we could stop the threat before it happens based on good intelligence. We seem to have a hard time doing that domestically in the United States.
I don't get it. Those are his guys. He's advocating for his guys to go to jail. Completely shameless. Even as information emerges that the Paul Pelosi attacker was a deranged MAGA, Fox News trying to blame the assault on mental health and California crime policies. Let's go! I knew it was going to happen. I fucking told you!
Society, as well as the spouse of one of the most prominent politicians in our nation's recent history. And this person isn't protected against being assaulted. What are regular folks there in San Francisco to do?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I will say, too, I mean, it's upsetting because...
Weird thing to celebrate, my man. Bro, I'm brain broken. And for anyone who has the audacity to fucking say that I am not just... Okay, I'm not even going to get into it, actually. You know what? That's fine. But I'll just say those same people want to do the same thing to me, okay? So shut the fuck up. I have to live with that every goddamn day. You don't, okay? So yes, no, I've already fucking lost touch looking at this with a serious tone because it's something that I have to live with every fucking day of my life.
You know, a year ago when my book came out, there was a lot of people who accused me of exaggerating the problem. And it was, you know, you can manipulate the numbers in a variety of ways, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of people don't report the crimes that they suffer. And so it really took a backlash against the local media in San Francisco, which is an extremely woke media, for the Chronicle to finally go and do a survey of the public and discover that, yeah, people weren't making this up. People really are suffering very high levels of crime and violence in San Francisco. It's not to say it's not the only city suffering from it, but you've seen this effort to basically de-police, to demonize the police, to reduce consequences for crime.
That's crazy.
Repeat offenders out.
Yeah, dude, if only they hadn't demonized police, this guy wouldn't have been able to fucking break into Paul Pelosi's house and beat the shit out of him with a fucking hammer. Crazy. It's caused by defunding the police. Yo, the guy is like a don't defund the police guy, though. So how do you fucking square that hole? You know what I mean? How do you connect the dots on that one? Half the time, these dudes are very open about their political ideas. They will quite literally openly agitate. They'll be like, I'm a Republican. I love Donald Trump. I am doing this illegal thing because I love Donald Trump and I hate the fucking libtard commie Democrats. And you go on Fox News and they're like, well, you know, liberals are at fault here for yet another one of our watchers going out and behaving in a violent way towards the people that we have decided are the most evil motherfuckers on the planet. It's so crazy.
Without any consequences. You know, a lot of folks, you know, and may very well be in this case, given the things that this person was saying, are suffering from psychiatric conditions or from drug addiction, which is often related. And the answer is not always long prison terms, but you do need to have some approach to mental health in our country. We're unlike other countries in that we don't have a single system that allows for proper psychiatric care for people experiencing mental distress. So I would hope that this incident and other incidents, no matter what's going on behind it, help to get us the kind of psychiatric care system that our country needs and has needed for decades.
Really interesting perspective on all of this. We're just looking.
Yeah, it is a really interesting perspective. She's like, thank you for somehow finding yet another instance where you turn the issue around and are blaming the fucking Democrats. That's awesome.
Live pictures here. Obviously, this investigation ongoing. They're looking for any trace, any clues, obviously, because at the last briefing.
It's always so funny because, like, Republicans love getting super fucking woke and super socialist when it's to shift attention away from, like, the actual root cause of a problem, right? They love talking about, like, immediately initiating homelessness initiatives to combat homelessness and, like, you know, help those people out. When it comes to, like, shitting on undocumented immigrants, they'll always be like, why are we taking care of undocumented immigrants when homeless veterans are on the streets? But when an actual homeless veteran is on the street, you're like, murder that guy. Melt him. Melt that guy into fucking biomatter immediately. He's not paying property tax. And it's like in a situation where yet another fucking psychotic MAGA QAnon supporter goes and like tries to kill Nancy Pelosi, okay, and fails. Then it's like, oh, well, what we need to do is immediately have socialized medicine. We should do socialized medicine. We should do universal mental health care for these people. It's like, where did that go? Why did you forget about it tomorrow? Yeah, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, they said literally, we need to focus on maternity leave and support for our mothers. Where did that go? Nowhere. Because it's never serious. It's never actually fucking genuine. They don't give a fuck about that. They're just using it as a way to deflect away for like a 3.5 second moment. Let's take a look at one more. We got one more.
For Nancy Pelosi, as the speaker says somebody broke into her house, brutally attacking her husband, Paul Pelosi. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Good morning to you. I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning. Sweet man there, that doctor, huh?
Dr. John.
Best of Percy, all right?
Yeah, Percy, get your act together.
My godson's got to get it together, all right? Yes. Meanwhile, this attack taking place earlier today in San Francisco. Don't know the exact time, but Paul Pelosi's in the hospital. Speaker Pelosi was in Europe at the time. Her spokesman says that Mr. Pelosi expected to make a full recovery. I want to get to Leo Terrell, Fox News contributor. Leo, there's a lot we do not know, okay? The AP says he was severely beaten. We don't know how he got in. We don't know whether he was let in. We don't know if he knew Paul Pelosi, whether he's a complete stranger. But the write-up is that, quote, the motivation is still under investigation. Want to be a little careful on the story. We don't know yet. We don't know how he's going to pull out of it, Leo.
Well, first of all, I hope he has a full recovery, and I think that's the first thing I want to say. And secondly, I believe there's also a suspect in custody. But the bigger problem, Bill, is simply this. Crime does not discriminate. Rich or poor, black or white, city, suburbs, everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the number one issue in this country. And I think what Democrats need to do, this is a wake-up call, because you're talking about San Francisco. Bill, California, San Francisco, LA is the heart and soul of crime. Crime is permitted in this state and in a
Yo, why does he have 3 flag pins, bro? We get it. You dick ride America, okay? The dick riding is crazy right now. Chill, brother. He said crime is legal in California. That is awesome, okay? Crime is permitted, legal, allowed, and people literally hurt you if you don't do crime, actually. That's awesome. Also, this idea that like crime capital of America is California is so funny, because like it's just not true. It's just not true at all. If you look at the places where there's the most crime, it's always red states. Always. The highest rate of crime, highest rate of murder, highest rate of violent crime, highest rate of property theft. All of those fucking places are red states, which, by the way, is caused by poverty. It's not even the fucking fault of the individuals living in said red states. It's poverty. Poverty is what causes crime. Those states are also, and you might be shocked to find this out, the poorest fucking states. Okay, I don't want to watch any more fucking Fox News coverage on this. I want to get to the guy who did it. The Pelosi attacker was a baby talk friend groiper. For those of you who don't know what any of those words mean, there's a group of people that call themselves like friendly friends, like they're groipers, they're like 4chan pole freaks who talk like little babies. It's just a very weird incel group. You probably see them sometimes. They call themselves friends, like friend, but F-R-E-N. It is the most cringe thing you can think about. This is his blog, as a matter of fact. COVID, the Jubes, Gamergate, Great Reset, Groomer Schools, Guns, Humor, Immigrants, James Lindsay, Jesuits, and Kids. Here's what he said about Black Adam. The critics are fucking commie gatekeepers. They love the shittiest movies ever, as long as those movies are shitty, because they were. Spending your last day as a free man complaining about Black Adam. That was interesting. Okay, I subscribed to his website so you can read the Pelosi attacker David DePape's insanely long review of Black Adam. Fuck the elites. Dwayne Johnson Tresh's woke critics. The critics are fucking commie gatekeepers. They love the shittiest movies ever. The critics consistently hate movies the public loves and love movies that are absolute trash. These people need to lose their jobs. They're crappy at their job and only use it to push their commie agenda. By the way, good movie. Enjoyed it a lot. Fantastic performance by Mr. The Rock. He carried the movie. As far as wokeism destroys movies. The wokeism in this movie was the diversity hire CGI character with no role on the team other than being a diversity hire. I love when these guys think that they're so disruptive because they're like shitting on fucking movies, and you're still a Marvel DC enjoyer, okay? You're just mad about it from the other side. Holy fuck, dude. Gamergate broke the brains of so many people. I think they were brain broken already, and it's just like allowed them to channel all of their frustration at like whatever the fuck they're consuming. Holy shit. Anyway, the giant white guy who was the demean white people character and the old white guy who was the kill white people character because minorities character. The plot holes in the movie arise from the fact that the plot of the movie was actually about kill old white men and not about Black Adam. I haven't seen this movie and I don't care to watch this movie, so I don't even know if what he's saying is even consistent with what was on the screen. Think I'm wrong? Why put Black Adam in jail if you can see the future? The only thing it did for the plot was kill the old white guy. Together, they outnumbered and overpowered the bad guy. The only reason to put Black Adam in jail was to kill white people. Half the movie was about putting Black Adam in jail. What? So making a movie about killing white people was more important to their Black Adam movie than making a movie about like, oh my God, dude. Hey, listen. At least this man is no longer going to be able to write these things, okay? Now that he's actually in jail, okay? Holy fuck. Didn't they want you to do a reading for Black Adam like 2 years ago? Yeah, I did, and I didn't get the part. which is why the movie was panned by critics. If they had allowed me to be, if they allowed me to take the role that I was supposed to, the movie's Rotten Tomatoes critic score would probably be significantly higher. They give him his own. Okay, I'm not reading all that, bro. I'm sorry. There's no amount of fucking no. I'm not reading all this, dude. Holocaust denier, classic. Holohoax, he says. It's not okay to be white. Say they're tolerant people. Suspect in the attack on Paul Pelosi seems to be a fan of seemingly pro-Putin, pro-Assad YouTube conspiracy theorists named Jimmy Dore and anti-Semitic. Screenshot of an anti-Semitic video. The suspect in attack on Paul Pelosi posted 3 days ago with the caption, "That's some pretty sick Jewing going on if true. Bomb the country into shit so the residents leave, buy the land up for cheap, then pay to have it all rebuilt." Same post as another pro-Putin propagandistic Jimmy Dore video blaming the West for Russia's war on Ukraine. Suspect on October 19th implored Trump to make Tulsi Gabbard his VP nominee. Trump, you need to make Tulsi your VP in 2024. Of the entire Democrat presidential candidates in 2020, she was the only Democrat. On October 19th, he posted about Kanye West and makes several virulently anti-Semitic posts, including Auschwitz, gas chambers, blaming the Jews for the war in Ukraine, and also urging Trump to run with Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, I feel like this guy's a bit of a crank. Bit of a right-wing crank, I think. And that's what he looks like. Wow. Incredibly unsurprising. 42 years old! 40 fucking 2 years old! And he was posting saying friend and whammon. Every smug fucking 4chan loser looks like this, bro. Oh my God. Take a fucking shower. Remember, I told you guys all the time, like, there's so many poll motherfuckers who are like pushing 50 now, but pushing 40 that behave like this. They behave like fucking 14-year-olds on the internet. Behaving like a 14-year-old. I don't understand what you're trying to say here. His posts and the way that he posts, children post like that. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so silly that usually when you write stuff like that, we oftentimes think only kids with kid brains would write shit like that. Like friend. Oh, yes, friend. For those of you who don't know, here, I'll show you what like the Groyper friend kitty talk is like, okay? Oh, this is copied from a suspended account. Friend talking about alcoholism. Oh, yeah. Sorry, friends. Me haven't been around Twibber latterly. Me ashamed and mad. After 20 plus longo years of alcoholism, me spent the past year and a half in recovery. Me recently fell off the wagon. Looks like in me gonna be so drunk by noon again today. Ugh. But yeah, this is it. I'm over at this girl's house right now. She has a George Floyd poster on her wall. SOS, calling all friends to send help ASAP. Okay, first of all, let's be real. No, you're not. You're not at a girl's house, and no one has George Floyd posters. Okay, that's not a thing. These are literally 40-year-old motherfuckers who are posting like this, like they're little children. I don't know why they behave like this, but they post like this. I don't fully understand it. Here's some more background on David DePape. I don't know how you fucking say his last name. He's a suspect accused of attacking Paul Pelosi, the husband of the U.S. Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, with a hammer. He also posted COVID and election conspiracy theories online. Online records give DePape's age at 42. The reason why we have to stress that point is because, you know, when you're a brain-broken Gamergate, Andy, you come across like you're fucking 14 because, like, there is a level of acceptability to be, like, that reactionary at that age because you're so young and maybe you were just, like, influenced, right? This guy's 42. He was, like, 30 plus when Gamergate was happening, bro. He was pushing 50. Oh, my God. A Canadian-born resident of Berkeley, California, emerged alongside a prominent Berkeley nudist activist with whom he has children. On a WordPress blog, the PP ranted about censorship by the elites and ruling class. He also appears to have a website that reads The Jews. Some of his posts refer to former President Donald Trump. Either Q is Trump himself or Q is the deep state moles within Trump's inner circle. So Q Trump sabotaged their child trafficking operation, 2 self-inflicted wound. Trump covert ID or a deep state mole. Was Q referring to this? Did Q do this? Another video he wrote referring to QAnon. In another post he wrote, the more Ukrainians die needlessly, the cheaper the land will be for Jews to buy up. His website has posts on pedophiles, aliens, COVID, communism, Kanye West, Derek Chauvin, what he called climate hysteria, and more. Do you think people like this would exist if he got some bitches, bro? He has a child with like a Berkeley nudist. This guy had sex, okay? Why are so many people like this so fucking crazy? I think the internet has made it, like, mobile phones and the internet has unironically made it worse. Like, these guys always existed. This is not new, right? This level of mania has always existed. But now they're more entitled and they have a broader access and they have other also insane motherfuckers just like them telling them that they're right to feel the way that they do. Update on Paul Pelosi's condition has been released, by the way. Paul Pelosi suffered a skull fracture and serious injuries to his arm and hands, but his doctors suspect a full recovery, which is part of the reason why I felt more comfortable making jokes about it. Here's Midas Touch, my favorite unhinged libs, talking about the issue here. Let's take a look at what they have to say while I go pee.
The suspect in the attack of Paul Pelosi has been confirmed to be a 42-year-old right-wing extremist who spread 2020 conspiracy theories, COVID disinformation, and hatred of the January 6th committee. Per NBC News, the assailant who attacked Paul Pelosi was in search of the Speaker of the House, and before the assault occurred, the intruder confronted Mr. Pelosi in their home shouting, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" Now, where have I heard that before?
Where are you, Nancy? We're looking for you. She's in jail. Nancy. Oh, Nancy. Nancy. Where are you, Nancy?
It's been reported that the suspect was trying to tie up Paul Pelosi until quote-unquote Nancy got home. And the Republican reaction? Well, they don't give a damn. This was RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel right after the attack occurred, going on as if it were business as usual. And here's Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance.
I'm going to go fire Chuck Schumer. Madison's going to fire Nancy Pelosi.
And here was Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin making a joke about the whole attack.
Speaker Pelosi's husband, they had a break-in last night in their house, and he was assaulted. There's no room for violence anywhere, but we're going to send her back to be with him in California. That's what we're going to go do.
Despicable.
Okay, to be fair, like, they're not actually saying anything that bad. You know what I mean? God, I love Midas Touch so much. No, we need people like Midas Touch. We need outlets like that. Okay, Occupy Democrats, Midas Touch. They're like, they're unhinged libs.
Political violence has no place in America, and it just needs to stop. Instead of condemning this violence, Republicans are mocking Speaker Pelosi as her husband literally fights for his life after a brutal assault. I hate to say it, but these are just horrible human beings.
Why do you hate to say it? They are, though. I mean, they are across the board. Midas Touch I love because they kind of like operate like Republicans do. Like they do like political attack ads. No, they're awesome. I am a big supporter of Midas Touch. You guys know it. I've talked about them quite a bit. I can't understand one thing, okay? I need to mention something here. Between us, how did this guy not like actually overpower an 87-year-old guy? It's kind of wild. Big homie went into the fucking house with a goddamn hammer, and he couldn't overpower like an 84-year-old man who was sleeping. It's basically yet another indication that these guys are just such fucking cringe basement-dwelling losers. Like, he couldn't even fucking overpower like an 87-year-old dude who may or may not have been drunk at the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was tapped to be the best man in a 2013 nudist wedding in San Francisco City Hall. Oh my God, they're eating his ass in the QRTs. Oh my God, David DePepe, you have done the worst crime of all. Not only have you failed to beat an 80-year-old man with a fucking hammer, which automatic L, you also were posting so much fucking cringe, and now everyone is going to eat your ass in the fucking QRTs, brother. This should be a warning to all the fucking groped up shouties out there who are like in my replies all the time being like, haha, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. Bro, please just stop doing that. Look, this is what it looks like when we go through all of your fucking internet. You've been posting so much cringe, dude. Not like he's ever getting out of jail to see it. Ha, that's what you think, brother. It's San Francisco. Bet he'll be out in the streets by morning. That's what they do in San Francisco, brother. They let him out. They give him another hammer so he can do the crime better next time. I know how it is. I live in Oklahoma. Anyway, David DePepe was known as a father figure in a 3-bedroom Victorian flat in Berkeley where famed nudist activist Gypsy Taub lived with her 3 children and fiance. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he was in a fucking throuple. Oh my God, he was getting cucked on the... Oh my fucking God, oh my God. The couple had tapped DePepe, a hemp jewelry maker who lived with them in the crowded home, to be their best man. He listed himself as a member of the Green Party. Voting records show DePepe listed himself as a member of the Green Party years ago. He was a nudist activist. Bro, San Francisco Chronicle holding on for dear life to try to make this motherfucker seem leftist, dude. They are so desperate, dog. They're like, dude, come on. So DePepe was, as far as we know, like fucking anti-Semitic, QAnon conspiracist, loves Donald Trump. None of that has been mentioned yet on the San Francisco Chronicle. Holy fuck. He was a nudist activist. He kept a blog with screeds about the ruling class, right-wing conspiracy theories, and racial slurs. Oh, buried the lead a little bit there, didn't you? The elite's ruling class never censored themselves. The PP wrote in a WordPress blog that he apparently maintained and kept updating. Banner, welcome to Big Brother Censorship Hell. The blog, which lists the PP as an author, is larded with conspiracy theories about elites, including government officials, tech companies, and media outlets who he accuses of censorship. When your only anger towards the elites in corporate media revolves around fucking censorship, that's a red flag. It features a series of entries, headlines that invoke conservative beliefs of conspiracy theories promoted in far-right circles. They went to fucking bullet point 4 to deliver this information when it is the most prominent. Created with posts such headlines, Communist Voodoo Science, Feminists Get Owned. A post on August 25th titled, The Woke Are Racist with a Guilty Conscience, has no text or links in the body. Another post on August 24th titled, Q refers to a far-right QAnon theory with images of convicted sex offender and financier Jeffrey Epstein. He was a leftist. He voted Green Party, just not your type. No, he wasn't. Motherfuckers will look at a guy who writes 11 fucking posts a day on wokeism and how, like, you go woke and you get broke or whatever the fuck. And they're still like, well, in 1987, he voted for the Green Party, which means he's still a leftist. Anyway, the blog is laden with bigoted and derogatory statements against immigrants, people of color, women, LGBTQ people, and Muslims. So strange that he sounds so fucking right-wing for some weird reason, and yet he probably still is a leftist. Family members say he was estranged. Ron DePipe, who said David DePipe is his brother's stepson from a previous marriage, said his family completely lost touch with the man. Another fucking signifier that you went down the fucking rabbit hole. He refused to contact with any family. Ron DePipe said in a phone interview Friday from his home in Powell River, British Columbia. At one point, DePipe lived in Powell River, but according to Ron DePipe, he left at a young age to follow a girlfriend who lived in the U.S. He just kind of disappeared. He spewed anti-Semitic theories about the war in Ukraine. We already covered that part. Yeah, seems like a leftist. Remember in the beginning of the COVID wave, I told you guys there's like hella fucking crunchy granola ass motherfuckers out there who also behave this way, just as deluded, just as insane as right-wingers are, but then they like kind of usually turn right-wing anyway because they think that it's leftist to do shutdowns and liberals are responsible for the shutdowns, and then because they don't believe in COVID and because they're like anti-vaxxer liberals, they start making this turn into like this further descent into right-wing mania. It could have happened to this guy at a certain point, but it seems like it happened to him before this because he was like a Gamergate guy anyway. Here, HasanAbi with the what the fuck is granola? Crunchy granola liberals are like anti-vaxxer libs that live in like Malibu and shit. Like, yeah, white people dreads, that sort of thing. Like hippies that also are anti-vaxxers and like believe in spirituality and holistic medicine and also think like COVID was fake. But it doesn't seem like this guy radicalized in the COVID phase. He might have he might have radicalized further in the COVID phase, but it does seem like he was a Gamergate guy already. So I think that was probably his first turn away from like being like the hemp guy. The hippie mysticism shit almost always leads the reactionary politics is the baby boomer trajectory in a nutshell. Aimless, uninformed anti-establishment sentiment always leads the reactionary ideology. Yeah, because the moment that you fucking consider the establishment to be leftist or left-wing or liberal, and these guys are so stupid, they believe in anything, right? They believe like shoving a fucking crystal ball in your asshole is cleansing your body. So why the fuck wouldn't they believe that like it's a liberal pedophile conspiracy to run the government and like fake a COVID attack when it's not real? You know what I mean? It seems like he certainly was stuck in that phase. And also mentally stunted, like very clearly mentally stunted, you know, that he was writing posts like that.